What's good, y'all? It's episode 3 of the Scars Make Stars podcast. It's your boy Carson, aka Scars. And look, I'm here with the one and only. Introduce yourself. Let me not do it. Who are you?
Hey, I'm Ja Will. I'm Ja. I'm an engineer. I'm life. I'm love.
There we go.
I'm here.
Hey, he's here. Hey, so I got Jawo on the set. Just a little bit of context into how we met. Essentially, I went to Georgia Tech, or we both got accepted into Georgia Tech at the same time, 2021 over the summer. We did a summer program, and essentially we met. And the way that we really got close is I saw he was actually talking to one of the teachers we both had, and then I complimented his ability to ask good questions, his inquisitiveness, his curiosity about topics that most people don't talk about, whether it be like self-improvement, manifestation, affirmations, and speaking good about yourself so you can have good results for yourself. And just his ability to like think the way that he thought at the age that we were, because we were both 17, 18 at the time when we got into Georgia Tech. I was thinking, all right, cool, like I need to get around people like this. Like, like one of my mentors says, it's power proximity and osmosis. So when you hang around people that are doing the same thing that you want to do later, then it's only a matter of time till you become that. So me and him, we locked in ever since then. I complimented him about that. Locked in terms of just working out, hit the gym before, reading. I've given him a book before. He's given me book suggestions. Music, we tapped in with that before. Content creation, we made videos before. Just a lot of different things. Like just being able to have somebody that's on the same frequency and vibration as you, it's just only a matter of time before y'all both go up. So that's just a little bit of context into how we met. But y'all will, if I don't know if you have an elevator pitch, but who are you? What do you do? Just explain a little, real quick.
I'm Ja Will. I'm the head mixing engineer at Ja Studios.
Yes, sir.
Ja Studios LLC is a music production house. We work with inspiring artists. We build them up from the ground zero up into the top. Everything from consulting to marketing to mixing, mastering, production, songwriting tips, all the different things it takes to be a good artist is what I'm building. So music production house, I'm a singer, I'm a songwriter, I make my own music. I split my personality into two different personas. We got Ja. Ja's a rapper, makes hip hop music, all about the feeling, the hard hitting beats. What are you doing to the song? Are you working out? Are you running? Are you mad? Are you sad? Like, what is the song getting the feeling of?
Yeah.
And then I got Ja Will, who's all the positive pop music. He's a singer. All of his music is more vocal. It's more about the storytelling, the meaning inside the music. So I split them down, two different Spotify's, same person, same me. I stand for both of it. But yeah, I wanted to do that for marketing and just to niche down and not have to cut off my creative expression. So
okay, nah, that's amazing, bro. Being able to kind of have that just like different persona on this side and this side. Like I remember when you first did it, like you first like made that split. You went into Ja and then also Ja Will, and you said, hey, like this is basically like an alter ego. So
yeah.
I rock with that, bro. I did want to know though, like with obviously the brand Scars Make Stars, I see you repping and appreciate it. Before you became a star, before you started engineering, mixing, mastering, creating content, doing all of these things, like what was maybe like the first, maybe like the beginning of, you could say, Ja Studios into who he is today? Like when did you really see that you enjoyed making music and doing everything around music?
I mean, my whole life has been music, man. It's been surrounded by music.
Okay.
I've been living with music my whole life.
Okay.
I grew up around jazz in the sense of like John Coltrane, blues bands, like everything that's just like soulful music, quote unquote, from my parents who were really tasteful. And then eventually got to like middle school, played in the band, learned trombone. So that's like classical training. I got tired of playing in the band simply because of the fact that they always had me playing one part. And I got good enough on my instrument so that I was soloing and doing different parts. And the teachers would get mad because it's not what's written. And I hated that. So what I did was I taught myself how to be the band. So at first that was like songwriting on the piano. I taught myself piano. And then slowly that became, let me use like music production skills. And I say like music production skills, but like my phone was like my first computer doll basically for like making music. So I was doing that by the end of middle school. I was trying to figure out songwriting, structure, basic stuff that I would think about now. But like back then it was like, big steps in the learning process. So I'm teaching myself music production. By the time I get to high school, I'm really making beats and small stuff like that.
Yeah.
But I didn't see it as a career yet.
Mm.
Go through high school, I'm continuing playing in band. Ended up dropping band halfway through, but that was another side experience. I was focusing on my singing, which is in musical theater. I was doing plays and stuff like that, musicals, and that helped me with my vocal training, my vocal tone, you could say, clarity. And then by about junior year of high school, I started recording other people, other friends who were trying to do the rapper thing or try to do the artist thing. And I was like, wait, you know what I'm saying? I know how to record, like, pull up. You know what I'm saying? Like, at that time, it wasn't really something I saw as a career. But by senior year, I had made a name for myself for having good quality, good prices, and just I enjoyed doing what I was doing. And I was like, wait, let me do some research. Like, let me see where this could really go. Yeah. And of course, there's careers out there who are mixing engineers or recording engineers or just overall studios. Like, there's all across the world. So I saw it as an opportunity. I was like, let me go for this. Like, this is what I enjoy. This is what I want to do.
For sure. And that's funny, bro, because I feel like you deciding like what you want to do, mixing engineer, audio engineer, and just kind of being in that mixing and mastering space. I feel like what you kind of did, like, correct me if I'm wrong, but was that move to kind of transition into that type of career? Was that like under the same principle of I'm gonna teach myself, I'm gonna do things that I know is aligned with my passions and my goals? Like, is it the same kind of independence that you translated from you leaving band and you also doing that to lead yourself into something else? Like, that you have that same type of independence?
Indeed, man. I've been a natural leader my whole life. Okay. I've always been an outlier in the sense of, like, I was an entrepreneur when I was 6. Like, for real. Like, hey. So I'm not lying.
What you was doing? You was like selling like Barney mixtapes? Like,
way more than that. It was selling Barney mixtape.
Look. I got the new show before it comes.
Yeah. But I mean, it's down the line of shows in the sense of before I marketed myself as a musician, I was a magician. So from the age of 6, I was teaching myself magic. Everything from like, magic kits to like reading books to YouTube, whatever it was to learn. But eventually, age 7, I did my first show. And then that progressed into doing more parties with home kids shows, library shows. And by the time, until COVID hit, I was traveling around Georgia, Alabama, doing magic shows for churches, for organizations, corporate, everything, to birthday parties, you know what I'm saying? Like the whole 9 yards on that. And it was a whole brand, business cards and all. Only thing I didn't make was an LLC. But I wasn't on that same mindset back then. It was like, it was something I enjoyed, and it was something that I could get paid from as well. So, sure. There you go. Since age of 7. Yeah, bro. It's pretty crazy when you look back.
Most people don't even know how to spell entrepreneur until they're like 17, and then you were like an entrepreneur. You were really like living it and doing what people like aspire to do. They always say, "Oh, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna start this business. I'm gonna do this," but they don't actually do it. And it sounds like you were kind of doing it unconsciously at the time, right?
No, it was conscious.
Oh, it was conscious. Like you knew
stuff like that doesn't happen unconscious. Like, that was work. It was a lot of work. I credit my mom's, because she would help with just like practice, reps. She has put me into the man that I am, in the sense of like being able to carry myself on stage, being able to entertain, being able to make sure that, say I mess up, I'm not using filler words, making sure I pause, like very simple things that a speaker would know, but she was enforcing it at a younger age. Yeah. Which created good habits for me going into the rest of my career, the rest of my life. Of course, I'm singing music, so that's something you need: good projection, good grammar, good presence as a whole. And then I do a lot of speaking as well, so that's something that I still use, the tactics she taught me years before. But yeah, definitely not unconscious, bro. It was something that was a hustle. It wasn't easy at all times. Definitely wasn't easy. There's some times where you don't want to do it, where it's like, I remember, I'm a growing teenager at that time. So everything from, mood swings to whatever it takes, in the sense of like oh man, I don't want to do this one. So it's like, but now I got booked for the show. You gotta,
Mm.
you know what I'm saying? You gotta go from to
Yeah.
and just go. Like,
Yeah.
so it taught me a lot. It taught me a
Okay.
lot of like discipline as well, in the
Nah,
sense
for
of
sure.
that age. Like, you gotta think, bro, what are people doing at that age?
Mm.
Talking to girls, doing nothing, doing nothing. Like, I mean,
Yeah.
like they don't
Yeah.
even do homework for real at that age. Like, homework is not. You do the homework maybe, like, and it wasn't even a big deal if you didn't do it. Like at that age, it was people was just doing nothing, playing video games, wasting their life. But I was doing something totally different. So I was in a whole nother lane than all of my friends.
Mm.
So it was hard in the sense of like, connecting and all that type of stuff. But
Yeah.
whatever, that's in the past. It made
Yeah.
me who I am now,
Nah,
a solo
facts.
bird.
Nah, facts. I feel like that's like a perfect transition into really those struggles that you were dealing with. One thing about like my brand, not just scars make stars, I talk about how, your scars make you stronger from your struggles. So I wanted to know for you, like, obviously you would tell somebody, yo, I was an entrepreneur at 6. I had my first show at 7. I was doing shows at 8, was getting booked, at the age of 15 to 16. But like for you, throughout that whole journey into from like your toddler to adolescence years, like what was some of the struggles or major struggles that you had to go through with having the success that you have? What was the struggles inside of that success for you?
I mean, it was one of those things where being a smart, black, overweight young man,
Mm.
especially in America, was tough already. That's a lot of odds stacked against you. You can't really be intelligent and black in the South. That's
Mm.
just naturally not happening.
Yeah.
Everyone else around you is super ghetto and low down and not wanting to do anything with their life because of the system. That's just how it's built, is to create dummies. But being a smart kid who's also overweight,
Mm-hmm.
who's also talented and doing something cool, that's just a lot of like very bad odds stacked
Yeah.
against you in the sense of like
Yeah. Yeah.
just what the world is expecting from a person like you and what you give back to them
Mm-hmm.
is very tough.
Okay.
So everything from, you get bullied, you get harassed in a sense, you get everything from alienation.
Mm.
A lot of the time, like in the South, a lot of the norms are unconscious bullying. And
Mm.
that stuff where it's like, it comes from
Yeah. I can see
norms
that.
that's engraved deeper than you can trace back. Like that's engraved in their family and their parents' parents. You know what I'm saying? Like it's literally how the culture is in the South.
Yeah.
So to say the least on it, you had everything from just discrimination to
Eesh.
segregation in the sense of like you're just a different breed, and because
Yeah.
of that, people see you different, and it's most likely in a negative light.
Mm.
But those are the things that help to build me. Like I wouldn't be the same person. I wouldn't have the same humor without it. I literally wouldn't.
Mm.
Without being able to say bake back when people was baking you up. I say baking you up is more just like a gang, a group of just people just clowning you. And
Yeah.
if you don't know how to slap back, you internalize that stuff. And for the wrong person, you might internalize it to the point where you believe it.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the worst. When you actually believe the crap people be saying.
Yeah.
So I mean that taught me, okay, I gotta learn how to flame people back. Like I gotta learn how to make other people laugh when they like turn the odds against me. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like you got people on your side laughing at you, like because I'm sitting here. You know what I'm saying? Like you gotta be good at those things.
Yeah.
So it helped to develop my overall tough skin in the sense of like people who are not on my team. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like for real. Like why?
Yeah.
Why do I need you in my life? Like you're
Okay.
not doing nothing for me. I don't even need to be in this room. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I go, I'm out.
For sure.
So
That's hard. And I think it's commendable that you kind of use like those negative situations to and turn it into like a positive situation. Basically turn, as I was saying, like your trials into triumph. But I would want to know, like, I feel like with a lot of characteristics, there could be downsides and upsides to everything. Have you ever seen in your life personally where maybe your tough skin and kind of the things that you had to develop, which is, obviously you having that kind of just having that ability to like not not internalize all of those things. Have you seen that have negative effects in your life at all? Like for you personally?
100%, dude. The thing is that tough skin is a facade.
Mm,
The idea of tough skin is a facade
mm,
because it still lays on the top of the skin, and over time it sinks. Tough skin is a facade in the sense of really thinking about it. Like it's an illusion. Like, oh, fuck 'em, I ain't worried about that. Like that's just an illusion to
yeah.
what you're avoiding. So it took me years to actually come to terms with the things, and that is where real tough skin is developed. When you can take hate and accept not only the fact that they're coming from a place lower in some sense from you, but usually when people hate, it's only a reflection of themselves and
Mm,
what they couldn't manage in their life. It's like, oh, hurt people hurt people. And
that's
that
right.
saying is beautiful in the sense of like, at the end of the day, hurt people are gonna hurt people.
Mm-hmm,
So me getting hurt by hurt people doesn't surprise me anymore.
mm-hmm,
But back then, when you don't know how to cope with those, when you don't know how to understand those emotions,
mm-hmm,
you avoid them
mm,
and call it tough skin.
yeah.
And over time, it stacks. So at the end of the day, yes, I went through a whole time in my life where I was super depressed, in the sense of
Really?
like, yeah, well, you say really like that's surprising.
Nah, because
Like,
most people are not gonna say that like they actually were in that situation.
well, I mean, you ask in the sense of when you come to terms with stuff, it doesn't weigh anymore. That's the thing. I've come to terms with the things with my past, where I've come from, and I'm building from it. That's why I'm not scared to sit here and tell you this. If you
Yeah.
want to judge me, we already know where that goes. Like in the sense of like, I don't know, what are you gonna say that's gonna make my past hurt more? But that's not gonna change it. And I've come to terms with my past, and I know that I can't change it. I'm
Right.
not going to change it. I
Right.
can only change right now in this present moment
Mm,
to plan for the future. The future is not promised. So
that's
at the end of the
facts.
day, I'm sitting here looking at the past. The people who dwell on it are just the same people who think the future is promised. The
Nah,
same ones
that's
who don't
facts.
who are not grateful in the present moment
Yeah.
because they're stuck living in the past.
Yeah.
If that's bad habits, if that's bad people,
Mm-hmm.
whatever it is, you're living in the past that you did not come to terms to accept. And that's why I find it funny when people go back to bad relationships and just funny stuff that
Yeah.
someone from the outside is like, bro, what are you doing?
Yeah.
But they're living
Yeah.
in the past.
Yeah. Nah, that's facts.
So at the
That's
end of the
facts.
day, I've come to terms with it. So I can
Okay.
sit here and tell you, yes, I've been depressed.
Mm.
Yes, I've felt really bad for myself, for society. Yes, there's been times where I didn't feel any self worth in the sense of what every other kid who's diagnosed with depression would say, like on some I hate life type stuff, and like on really any sort of negative light. When you're depressed, it's deeper than sadness. It's like you don't even understand where the sadness comes from. You're just sad. You're just down. You're negative. You're a vibrational state. You're fear. You're in fear. You're fearful of fear. Like it gets
Ooh.
deep.
Yeah, it is deep.
So over time, like I went to therapy for a while in my
Mm-hmm.
life. I would say it helped a little bit. I don't know. I shout out to my therapist back then.
Yeah.
What's her name? Antoinette. Antoinette Briley. She hard. Shout out to her if y'all ever see her. But
Facts. Okay. Nah, bro.
therapist is fine.
Yeah.
I don't know how much it helped me, but it was something to at least get my mind off of things.
Okay.
But a big part of my life was sadness in the sense of like just overall straight up depression. Like,
Mm.
and I hate saying depression because it seems like the way the word depression has been changing and over the times. It's like, oh, I dropped my Coca Cola, I'm depressed. Like, whoa, chill out. Like, it's not how that's supposed to work. But at the end of the day, I was depressed.
Yeah.
It was something that I look back on and I'm like, oh, dang, like that was a huge part of my life. I went through anger problems in the sense of like because I couldn't deal with the emotions I had.
Mm-hmm.
You have simple triggers that if people push the button, then it's like you just push this trigger and it was a domino effect in your mind, and then a bunch more emotions that shouldn't be attached to that original emotion. So say like someone flicks you, like the pain you felt from that flick is not going to actually inflict someone to be mad if you don't have weight that's pushing a button. Say that was the last time you've been flicked 100 other times before that. This was your last straw. That was 100 flicks plus this flick. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So it adds up, especially if you don't deal with those ones in the past, because they just sit waiting for a trigger, waiting to be able to sink in, waiting for a release to sink into your thick skin.
Mm-hmm. No, that's real. I will say then, like in terms of the kind of that flick analogy, what were kind of the things happening a lot in your life periodically that just caused you to have this massive weight internally that you had to deal with?
I think I kind of mentioned that in the sense of in the South, you're intelligent, you're black, you're fat, you want to be different, you are different, you're talented, and you're funny, and people like the people who are in charge like you, but the people who are on the base level see you as a problem, a threat, or I don't know, jealousy, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
But a lot of that alienation is a big part. Plus, there's stuff going on family-wise, which made just fuel to the fire in the sense of just, you don't feel home. You don't feel home when you're at the house. That feels bad. Saying that is crazy.
Yeah, bro.
But like, that's what it was. That's what it felt.
Really. And why did you like feel like when you were at home it didn't feel like a home? Like what was happening, if you don't mind me asking?
There's problems in the sense of everything from just arguments to brothers to just a very dysfunctional household at the time. There's a lot of different things that were going on that were societal pressures on them, which I look back and see why it was so hard for them to figure out and to manage. But at the end of the day, it was just something where I, at the time, couldn't understand the realities of life and how hard it is to raise a family.
Yeah.
So I was ungrateful at the time. And at the time, there was always some sort of conflict. And I felt like I was underrepresented in the house in the sense of, say I had two older brothers, so I'm the youngest. But like, say my older brother does something. This is back in the time when we're all young and petty and like, still bullying each other and stuff like that, like doing dumb stuff.
Yeah.
But like, imagine he does something, hits me, I hit him back, get into a fight. I'm in trouble because I fought. He's straight. Like just stuff where I'm like, wait, where's the representation? Like this ain't fair. Like that was the whole mindset, at least back then as a kid, especially. It's like I didn't feel like there was a fair choice. It was always like the older person's right, or someone could just lie, and I'd be like, he's lying. He's straight up lying, and I wouldn't get any representation from that. And I'm not sure where that came from looking back on it, but I've also come to terms with that because it's been bigger picture problems that were in that equation that I didn't see at the time.
Yeah.
As much as, probably still should have representation, even if you're the youngest. You gotta imagine I was a troubled kid in the sense of a very big outlier in this community anywhere I went. Anywhere I went, in the sense of an outlier, either good or bad. Yeah. It's like, oh, this is a very well-spoken black guy. Yeah. Outlier. Boom. Now you're like, wait, what? Yeah. Especially in the city where I'm from, like, this how motherfucker talk like this. You know what I'm saying? Like, you didn't know what I'm saying. Yeah. But like, imagine having dialect and being able to use bigger words than a fifth grade vocabulary. Yeah. Like, just simple stuff like that put me as an outlier. And either in whatever situation you're either a problem, so people are jealous or people are hating, or you're a alienated outlier in a good way. Yeah. Say like in a community of say a church community or something like that. there's unconscious segregation that happens.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, you're really well spoken. Like,
Yeah.
I was like, wait, that's
Define
expected to build
well-spoken,
it.
yeah.
But I was like, you know how people will say stuff like backhanded compliments.
It is, for
Like,
sure.
I mean, I understand because it's written in their society, it's written in their culture. If
Not
you saw
expected, yeah.
a bunch of green ducks and then one black duck, you're like, wait, who is that guy?
Yeah,
Who let him in? Like,
yeah.
so at the
Yeah.
end of the day, a lot of alienation plus a lot of different problems
Yeah.
that were not really solved. Like, imagine being smart and having wisdom at a young age simply because you saw and absorbed what not to do from people who are making mistakes around you. So that's why I'm very almost ADHD in the sense of like aware. I try to be super aware because I'm always soaking in information, even if it's unconscious.
Yeah.
Like, with the sense of trying to avoid the past mistakes.
Okay.
As much as that's harder said than done.
Mm-hmm.
I had a lot of wisdom at the time, and I feel like I was not heard in the sense of just because of your age, you're wrong. Like, you don't know what you're talking about. And that was happening in the home, that was happening in school.
Okay. Do you have like a specific story of when you feel like because of your intelligence, it actually was seen as people being intimidated by it? Like a specific story where you like, oh yeah, I know.
It's a good question. Stuff like that,
Maybe
man.
in like school, like at home, like where you feel like your intelligence was in a way it hurt you, it didn't help you.
I'm sure there's hundreds of them. That's my life story.
Oh wow.
But at the end of the day, stuff like that, I have somehow memory wiped from my brain. Okay. I don't even remember negative stuff like that anymore. Okay. In the sense of I've moved past it.
That's good. Yeah.
Like, I can think of small stuff, but it's not a story or anything that's like entertaining in any way. Yeah. It's like it's not a little storyline that you can really like follow in the sense of I can get you the main message, but the details have been washed and been replaced with better things.
Okay.
I really like. I'm sitting here really thinking, but like at the end of the day, those small details of bad events, I got the notes from it. Nothing else. Okay. Like, I got the message. Okay. What I got from it. Okay. After I analyzed it and came to terms with it. Yeah. Like, that was a lot of what like therapy kind of taught me in the sense of like, can't always hold on to memories. Memories aren't meant to always be held on. Sometimes you gotta put them in the trash and let them fade away. Yeah, that's facts. That's facts. It's just like the computer. At the end of the day, like if you hold on to every file you ever downloaded, your junk is running slow. You're blocked. Like, that's facts. You're mentally blocking yourself from growing, from changing, from uploading, from updating, whatever you want to say. But when you come to terms with stuff like that, you take away the positive. You might even take away the negative. Yeah. And let that be what you keep, the main idea. Okay. You don't need the 5-page essay. You just keep the summary. Yeah. No, that's real. I mean, I think that's a perfect transition into you having those scars, whether it be people, you know, wanting to see you as a certain way because you were intelligent and people didn't expect it. You know, you were overweight and, you know, you receiving bullying for that. You being the youngest out of 2 older brothers and you having to deal with that kind of house order. Like, how did you, like, I'll hone in on the intelligence piece. How did you use your intelligence that at first you thought it was a curse, but now, like, how is it a blessing for you in what you do, like, right now, engineering and everything? I mean, I didn't think it was a curse or something where it's just, okay, yeah. I was happy to be smarter than other people in the sense of who wants to be dumb? Only dumb people want to be dumb. That makes 100% sense. Like, whoever wants to be dumb. Yeah. Or helpless. I've always been pretty self-sufficient, or in the sense of like my mindset has been like, nah, let me do it. Like, that's been my whole mindset. I want to figure out stuff by doing it, by like that. Yeah. Literally figuring it out, like decomposing, dissecting stuff, figuring it out. So how does it help me? Yeah, or how is it like really helping you, like doing what you do now, like that same intelligence that you've always had? I've been very detail oriented. Ever since a
Okay.
kid, I
Okay.
used to think that I wanted to go into mechanical engineering
Yeah.
simply because I didn't understand the fact that I had an engineer's brain, but not a mechanical engineer's career set.
Okay.
So
Explain.
engineering is a science.
Yeah.
It's
Okay.
not a career. Mechanical engineering is a career.
Okay.
Engineering is a way of thinking
Mm.
at the end of the day.
Okay.
So to break down the first thought,
Yeah.
it was kind of like when we were talking about the mic, when we was trying to put the thing on there.
Yeah.
Like I instantly started from thinking of how could this be connected.
Mm-hmm.
There's only three ways: a latch, magnets, some sort of adhesive, and I guess it's more than three. Some sort of adhesive or some sort of notch that like somehow locks in.
Mm-hmm.
Tried the magnet, didn't stick. Tried the adhesive, obviously didn't happen. Tried the latch, there was no sort of like outside latch. So I only got one thing left. And that's why I told you, I was like, you just got to critically think about it and not give up.
Yeah.
Because that was it was a really big eye opener for me and seeing how you think. Because if you gave up after that, what other twists on things are you giving up on in life in the sense of, so it's not an obvious route, there must not be an answer, or I just can't do it. Like, because that's actually, to quote you, that was one of the things you said, I can't do it. And I was like, can't is a hard word. It's like limiting, very limiting to your brain in the sense of, when I told you about the arrows, you were like, damn, there were arrows on it. Like, obviously, it was a twist on it. Like, you've seen that mechanism before. Every time you open the bottle cap, it's that same engineering, twisting, a groove that then channels down into a bottom layer. So it was like, there's only a few ways this could work. So I'm looking at that, dissecting the ways, and I was like, okay, so it's obviously a twist on. They got the arrows. Let me figure out how to twist it on. And figured out there's a latch, put it in the latch, twist it on, it locks in. Mm-hmm. Real simple. But at the end of the day, it can be complicated to someone who doesn't think like an engineer, who doesn't think at the first base level. You want to build a chair? Okay, what does it take to build a chair? Like, you need wood? Do you furnishing this out of metal? Like, you got to think from the base levels. So my whole life has been like that. Like, even when I was playing with toys, I was working with, like, say, like Nerf guns. I would take them apart and modify them to be better, to shoot harder, to shoot faster, whatever it is. I literally would learn from other people watching YouTube or whatever, dissect it, change the springs out, whatever it takes in the sense to take that plunger mechanism and shoot more air so that the Nerf dart would shoot faster, shoot more accurate. And I was straight up doing that, and I really enjoyed that because it was very stimulating to my engineer's brain, my detailed, meticulous mindset.
Okay.
And now, how is it helping me? Everything I do is detail oriented.
Yeah.
Graphic design, engineering, production.
Yeah.
People don't think about that 5% of the top tier details, but the 5% of the music that doesn't have the, hold on, let me think, rephrase that. People don't think about the 5% of the details that goes in at the last second. The shimmer on the vocals or the little airiness in the piano. No one thinks about that. But the 5% of the hit songs in the world have that. It's the details. It's down to every detail. Yeah. So for me, it's really crucial for me to have a detail-oriented brain, and that's also a engineering's brain. And that's why I went into sound engineering. Yeah. I enjoy both engineering as a science and way of thought, and sound and music and the whole world of working with sound, working with vibrations. So there you go. Long-winded answer, but there you go.
Yeah, no, that's cool. I mean, I would want to know, like, when did you kind of have that shift on when you paired your engineering way of thinking, but also your creative, like, way of heart, so to speak? Like, when did you kind of pair those two things together?
About senior year. No, actually, probably like junior year, in the sense of, nah, that's not true. Way before that. I've been doing it since I was young, like the engineering and creative. When I was doing magic, I was doing that. It's hard not to for me. In the sense of something rhymes, I'm gonna be like, that rhymes. What else rhymes with that? Like, I'm very detail oriented. I'm almost overly creative, and I say that specifically not in any sort of bragging sense, but I always think about how I have to tone my creativity down so that I can focus. If not, I'm gonna be like writing something down, hear rhythm in the word that I was writing, and then just come up with a whole like tap pattern to it. But I can't do that if I want to finish the essay. So I gotta tone stuff like that down and control it. Because at the end of the day, it's creativity is a free flowing river that you can always pull from, in my opinion at least. So it's also a muscle. And I use that muscle a lot. So it helps me be a little bit more creative in senses where I'm not even maybe in the domain. Like we were in this workshop and it was like design clothing that uses newspapers. I was like, oh, that's cool. Done. Instantly I had an idea in my head. We did it, like the group went with my idea and we won the competition. Like I had off the first rip, off of seeing the newspaper and seeing our models, I was like, yeah, let's do it. Like this is what we're doing. And they went along with it. We won. So I mean, it just shows you kind of I've been creative my whole life. It's hard to not use creativity and create critical thinking because at the end of the day, you need both to survive. Especially in this world, if you're not, you're a bot. If you're not thinking creatively in any way, like, oh, that's a beautiful plant. Like, I wonder what made that. You're not curious. You're not questioning life. You're not focused on obviously what's important, but also focusing on the stuff that might not be as important. Like going to shoot basketball. Like that's something that is a outlet for hundreds of people. But you know, if you're not going into the NBA or some other league, like probably not important in your life. But if you lock in straight work, you're gonna lose your way. You're gonna lose your personality. So at the end of the day, I use it all the time, everywhere. It's hard to differentiate the time when I wasn't that. I had to learn it, of course. That was something it wasn't just born with. But creativity is a muscle, and my parents did a great job to raise that muscle and cultivate it, and to not let me be a dummy to society in the sense of blindly believing stuff. I'm always asking why. I'm curious. Like, and that's something that was instilled to me at a very young age before I could even tell you.
No, that's real. Kai, what time is it? 11:27. Okay. Yeah, bro. I mean, two more questions before we wrap it up. I want to know, like, for people that want to be more like inquisitive, more curious thinkers, like how you've been, can you like give maybe the audience like some of the things that you did to kind of just use that curiosity and become more of like a free thinker in like a world of non-free thinkers, so to speak? What are some things that you did to open your mind up?
Question everything. That's the answer to everything in this world, I think. At the end of the day, question everything. And don't lie to yourself. So if you're questioning yourself, why am I mad at this? What makes me so mad at this? Like all he said was 2 words. What makes me so mad at this? Find that original thought. Whatever was holding you back, was blocking your mind. And attack it. Address it. Because the reason why a lot of people have anger problems, have depression, have really anything is that getting back to what we said at the start. Tough skin is a facade. They say that they have tough skin, or they say that it's not hurting them, or say they don't care, and it just sits on their skin waiting for an opportunity to seek in. So they never really accepted it. They never came to terms. So question everything. Question yourself. Understand yourself. Maybe meditate. Anything it takes to clear your mind, in the sense of we're distracted 100 times of the day. 100% of the day we're distracted. It's hard not to be distracted in this world of consumption. So question yourself in times where you can actually answer. Question the world and find the answer. And question the answer. Because not all answers are true. Not everything on the internet is true.
Yeah.
Not everything someone says is true. Question me. Question what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like at the end of the day, it's for you to figure out and make your own opinion, and don't let any other person's sway your opinion.
Yeah.
If you're strong in what you believe in.
Right.
So.
No, that's real.
Question.
That's real. That's real. And you said, I know that you said question everything. You said one thing that could also like kind of make you more aware. You said obviously understanding yourself. One thing is meditating. Is there anything else like that you do? Maybe like some game you can give on things that you do now in your just day to day routine that allows you to maintain that kind of free mindset and that that open mindedness. Anything that you do like that really helps with that.
It's a muscle, so you have to use it. Like you and I both know, if we just stop working out, our biceps are gonna lose our mass.
Yeah,
it's real simple. Like even you look at any bodybuilder, Arnold Schwarzenegger is a great example. In his prime, he was this massive hulking dude, and now he's just like, okay, I hit the gym to maintain. Like I'm not doing anything crazy. I'm doing what I got to do to stay alive, to stay fit. But he's not this massive hulking dude because he let those muscles go. Just like anything else, you have to use it. Whatever it is in your life that takes to use that muscle, use it.
Yeah.
If it's questioning everything, question random stuff. Like, I wonder how traffic lights work. Do you understand how traffic lights work? Like how traffic lights work. Most people don't. That's why you see everyone walk up to the sidewalk and push the button like as if that did something. Most people really don't know how traffic lights work. There's sensors in the road. You should learn stuff like that. It just makes you think about it. Like you live in this world and no one even questions like, why am I here? That's a big question that you're not gonna find that easily. But like question everything, and you have to do it at the base level, like even down to like I wonder who made a shoe. Like it's useless information, but that muscle has to be worked. Just like one extra bicep curl is not going to save me 2 months from now, but I do it because of the fact that if I don't do those bicep curls, I'm going to lose the muscle.
No, that's real. That's real. Hey, y'all question everything. Continue to work out every muscle you have. Understand yourself. Understand the world. Meditate. That's one thing I got. And honestly, just have a free and open mind. Not a lot of people are open minded. That's why a lot of relationships get closed off because people aren't open to new ways of thinking. So appreciate you, Ja Will, bro. I do have to end the episode early a little bit, but this is not the only episode I'm gonna have him on. Appreciate you popping on, bro. Hey, before we hop off, bro, plug in all your socials, all the ways people can tap in with you from a business perspective, and just shout everything out that you do.
So for my brand, Ja Studios, that's all it is. It's JAH Studios.
Yeah.
That's on TikTok. That's on Instagram, Twitter, whatever you use. Hop on it. Ja Studios. If you want to find my music, I kind of briefly mentioned the idea of the two different personas.
Okay.
Ja, that's spelled J @H. Okay. That's on Spotify, Apple Music, wherever you want to tap in. That's the hip hop rapper. Check him out. Good feelings, good vibes. And you got Ja Will, which is JAH, capital WILL. And that's pop music / R&B, but more new age pop music, positive music. You can show it to your auntie, show it to your kids. And that is all platforms the same.
Yes,
so you got Ja, J @H, Ja Will, JAH, capital WILL. You got Ja Studios.
Boom. There we go. Ja Studios. Y'all tap in, man. It's the episode 3 of the Scars Make Stars podcast. Hey, y'all follow Scars Make Stars for more SCARSMAKESTARS, TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, everything. We going up. Appreciate you for tapping in. I'm gonna see you on the next episode. Subscribe, like, and share this with a friend. So y'all be easy.
Smash it.
Let's get it. Appreciate you, bro. That was good.